I've always said that every tokenization was an effort that was done purposefully. Now, some people are starting to accept that because it's becoming obnoxious. But you remember when I first started talking about this years ago, there are people that do cocaine before they watch my videos. And they would say, well, no, that's not that way. When you see a character cross over from comic books to live action, it's the best person for the job. That's why there's Black as Guardians, people. This is why Tessa Thompson's fucking Valkyrie, even though she's based off of goddamn Norse mythology, including your beloved Idris Elba, makes no sense that there are Black Asgard. Black as Guardians make as much sense as white Wakandans. Right? But, you know, you got these characters and they always say, because they like them, and, you know, that's fine. You can like them. They can even, you think they can do a decent job or whatever. It doesn't change the fact that every single casting by way of Hollywood is done with it's a purposeful action. It's not done by accident. It's not a free casting call where they didn't have any sort of idea of the character in mind. No, they did. And if it's a race swap or a gender swap, that was done purposefully. Fucking Selma Hayek is playing Ajax. Like, the fact that that in itself is a retarded thing. She couldn't be anything further from that character. And you mean she's not even that good of an actress? I'm sorry. I know y'all might like Selma Hayek for other reasons, but she's not that. She's okay. She's not the best person for the job. That is a myth. But to be fair, someone did this article over at the Nerdist, and it says I got all of the buzz terms and the buzz concepts that really I've been talking about for years, and they're just now just saying, well, this is the purposeful effort. Let's read a little bit of it. It's come from Nerdist. Joshua Mackey says, reimagining a new DCEU. That term, reimagining, I really don't like that. Resurgence of the Black superhero. Diversity and representation. I mean, that's the first two words of the article, guys. Diversity and representation on screen continues to be a big problem. One of few studios are resolving effectively. Some superhero films and shows have slowly found their footing with diversifying on-screen cast. But they still have a long way to go. Many content creators are discovering ways to tell stories of heroes of colors that normally would never have made it past the pitch meeting because they suck. And as more original content continues to spill out, one way that DC Comics has diversified their bevy of superheroes is reimagining their characters as Black on the screen. There's another term for that I use, and you can watch my video that's called like tokenism and tokenization explained. It's called tokenism. In a world of superheroes, humans come with enhancements. Some heroes wield metaphysical powers. Vigilantes utilize their trove of technology to fight crime, and the evildoers strive to take over the world with fanciful machinations. Essentially, anything goes. And so does telling the narratives of classic superheroes from a Black perspective, and the Black, of course, is capitalized. Of course, this hasn't been always been the case. The majority of DC superhero films star predominantly, if not entirely, white cast. Fake. That is not true. Yet in this point in time, we have two different Superman projects coming in the screen. Yeah, and they're tokenized. We have Journey Smollett as Black Canary, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, and Black Bob Journey, who was Juicy Smollett's famous French actor. That's his sister, by the way. Journey's playing Black Canary, and they had nerve, and I covered this. Go look at my video on this. They had nerve to give her like the blue top with the gold pants, which is literally the first fucking appearance that we are one of. I think it's actually the first appearance that we saw of Vixen. She was wearing exactly that. So these cocky, dumb son of a bitches tokenized Black Carrie, Canary, and then had the nerve to give her a get up of an original black character. Why did you just use the fucking original black character? What the fuck was the point? Oh, because tokenization, you only see legitimacy in original white characters. That's it. All these pro-black activists that take all of these fists in the air and they take all of these gigs, these fucking losers only see legitimacy in white characters. That's why the original black characters get left on the shelf. So you get just black versions of white characters. Commissioner Jim Gordon and the Batman, yup. Leslie as Batwoman. Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. Black Adam alongside Dwayne Johnson. You got Anna Jop. They talking about who played, Starfire. J. Luke Kurgo, who's playing Tim Drake. We've covered all of these tokenizations. Like, the list is big, bro. There's a lot of tokenization going on out there. But that's not even half of the list of growing roster DC Comics related podcasts, films, TV series continue to envision pivotal characters as black. Others paved the way for these reimagining, and obviously everybody refers to Eartha Kitt being Catwoman back in the day, replacing Julie Newmar in the final season of the show. Blah 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 blah. Although we are seeing an increase on black representation, the damage from the lack thereof is still causing harm. A 2011 study highlighted that watching television decreased self-esteem in black children and white girls, but increased self-esteem in white boys. If what you view on screen consists of negative portrayals or simply doesn't include you at all, ramifications will follow. By the way, this is a very flawed study. It takes 300 something indoctrinated children, and that's what their assumption and kind of goes towards. Let me be clear about this. And actually, I don't even want to read further into it. This just proving me right. They're bragging about all this tokenization going on, proving me right about this. Went in on this. Like, race and focus on race and feeling sense of value by way of race is a learned trait. Okay? It's a learned trait. It is not an accident. It is not something that children and young people pick up just randomly. It's natural. That's not true. This is why you got pockets, for example, in Central and South America that don't have, even though they have people of different races and skin tones, they don't have the level of like hyper emphasis on race that we have, for example, in America. Right? There are places like that exist all around the world where you have different people with ethnic backgrounds, but there's not as much beef. There may be some slight beef, but not as much beef based on those ethnic or racial grounds. The reason being is because culturally they weren't raised to be that way. Right? I've said this before. If you take youngsters, right, who were never indoctrinated, and you take youngsters and just put them in a like clean slate setting, they will interact with. They will play with, if you go to like a playground with young children, right? They'll play with whoever, right? They'll play with whoever. They have a good time with whoever, because that's not what they care about. It isn't until public educators, educrats, fake ass activists with their fist in their air actually start telling them that they have to have a sense of belonging by way of their skin tone, by way of their gender, right? That's a learned trait. That is something that is being taught by a previous generation. That is not something that I'm sick of that shit because they act like that shit's natural. It's not. It's something this is why racism continue. Even though you think relations should be better, the reason why it feels like there's more tension is because these fucking race hustlers are beating in these young folk heads who then grow up to then be adults, and they define themselves by nothing but their fucking race. That's a learned trait. We'd be over this hump if y'all shut the fuck up about it, right? Hyper-emphasizing it. That doesn't mean you can't notate the differences of me being black and someone else being white. That's not what I'm saying. What's happening is that you're having people's identity be tied to that. And that right there is the problem. And these fake activists and these people who act like this is such a good thing that all these tokenizations are happening. The reason is because it's insulting, by the way. Now they only see legitimacy in classically white characters. We've went through that. That's not my opinion. They basically flat out admitted this is why they love to reimagine all of these characters that were previously, let's say, white, and straight and turn them into something completely different, right? This is why they love to do that. They only see legitimacy in classically white characters. We've been through it. But on a serious note, this is what I want you to focus on. What they are saying is that if you are black, you are a woman, you are whatever, let's say not white, straight, and male, your enjoyment simply does not exist unless that character relates to you. And the only way to relate to them, according to them, is through race and ethnic gender basis. Horseshit. It's fucking horseshit. This is why some of the great characters have caught on and have transcended generations. Batman isn't loved the way that he is because he's white. That has fucking nothing to do with it. This man is loved he is my favorite character. And he's loved by people. Like, I'm not rich and white. You know what I'm saying? My favorite character I've talked about growing up, Flash, right? Why was Flash my favorite color? Well, red is my favorite color, by the way. But why was Flash my favorite character? It's because he was fast, and I had grown up being a fast person myself. So the fact that there was a character that existed whose sole power was to run fast intrigued me, and that's why I liked the Flash. Didn't care that he was white. Didn't give a shit. Now, there's other characters that I love that are, let's say, black. But I don't like. It's like the Brianna Wu chick who wrongfully assumed that I have Luke Cage on my post on my a poster of Luke Cage in my old setup of my show because he's a black character. Like, just imagine diminishing, like, just thinking that's why he's there. Like, there's nothing else I can think is cool about Luke Cage aside from the fact that him and I have a similar skin tone. It's fucking bullshit. These guys are making excuses for their shit writing and their inability to make characters catch on that are original. That's fine, and we're going to show them how to do it. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.